communicate to you with his universal call for social responsibility. He will speak to the theme divinely purposed from his reservoir of historical scholarship and his extensive experience in the entertainment industry of public enemy. Los Angeles Times music critic Robert Hilberg called the group's repertoire the most acclaimed body of work ever by a hip-hop act. Fight the Power is regarded as one of the most popular and influential songs in hip-hop history. Spike Lee said in Rolling Stone, he made it the theme song of his celebrated film, Do the Right Thing. Public Enemy's seminal work in music and social change influenced many hip-hop artists and their forms of social expression. What drives hip-hop is information. Brothers and sisters, please show your respect and love for Public Enemy's Minister of Information, artist, author, and lecturer, Professor Griff.
Shit, 1, 2, 1, 2. Thank you. I remember that song. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? All right. In the divine name of the Supreme Being, I want to greet everyone with a civilized greeting. Peace, shalom, hotep, whatever greeting you go by. Whatever school of thought that you're from. Let's thank the organization for having the wherewithal and the insight and I guess the nerve and the gall to invite Professor Griff, because I don't get invitations like this. So let's give them a round of applause. And I think y'all can do better than that. Where's that short, powerful sister, Lamade? Wherever she is, let's give her another round of applause, because that sister's doing a marvelous work. There's Kwanzaa celebrations going on all over America. Just to let you know that we're in sync and in tune with the rest of our people, not only in America, but throughout the world. And it's a beautiful thing. And just to let y'all know, y'all are part of something very, very great that's going on. All right? In the meantime, between time, I'm not going to be long. They said I had an hour, but I might take a few more minutes than that. Anyway, I need everybody to look around the room, find a very unfamiliar face. Not me. Look around the room. Yeah, thank you. I need everyone to stand up out of your comfort zone. I need everyone to greet someone. Everyone stand up. Stand up. Get up out your comfort zone. Now, if you're over 70, you can stay seated. You about 24, right?
Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Everybody greet someone.
How you doing? All right. Yeah, that's good. All right. How you doing, sir? How you feeling, bro? All right, pretty good. How you feeling, man? Good. How you doing, sir? This is my brother. All right, John Johnson. All right. How you doing, sir? All right, how you doing? All right, hotels. All right. All that standing up.
Y'all must have already knew one another. That was quick. It always amazes me how people find me. I know my phone number is out there, but when I get emails and I get phone calls from people that I've never met before, I'm always curious in the back of my mind, why is it that they want Professor Griff to speak? Because I'm not sure if y'all know, I'm just one of those radical, militant kind of no holds barred. It is what it is. And I think, see, that was about a -2 on the applause meter, but that's good. Thing is, you get no applause when you're on the street corner dealing with your people. You understand what I'm saying? They drinking, blowing weed, smoking your face. You don't get no applause, you just gotta go do the work. Am I right or wrong? Y'all look at me like I'm crazy. Y'all got relatives like that. Stop playing. Don't y'all? You should have brought them with y'all. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, okay. She said she one of them. But the sister in her beautiful spirit want me to speak on the positive side of this thing, which I always do, but a lot of times you got to take care of that other business in addressing the problem in order to get people on the same page so they can appreciate the solution. Are you following me? If I came up here and gave you just a myriad of solutions, and you say, well, why is he going down that route? That's some stuff that we already know, that's already built into the fabric of who we are as a people. But if we're not activating it, then someone needs to come along and remind you. Am I right or wrong? And sometimes that's all we need. You call it a reality check. All right? But I wrote a few things down that I need to kind of say up front so we can kind of lay the base. All right? What I need everyone to do, since we're talking about they gave me my subject, which is divinely purposed. All right? This includes everybody. This is not something that Professor Griff is giving to you. It's already in you. I'm just tapping that thing in you to wake it up. And then my awesome task for the few minutes that they're giving me is now I got to introduce you back to you. Are you following me? Some of y'all not following me. Okay. It's cool. So what we're going to do at the end of this, if you have questions, I might entertain a few, but my table's way in the back there. We can sit, talk, take pictures, kick it, whatever. But what I need you to do on your way back to me is support all the vendors. Can we do that? Can we make it our business? I don't care if it's shea butter, some earrings, some kente cloth, whatever it is. Can we do that? Okay. So let me say this. I ran into a good friend of mine. He has a table back there. Y'all may know him. He goes by the name of Irritated Genie. Y'all know Irritated Genie?
Yes.
Genie, you back there?
He sure
He's
is.
back there.
Sure is.
It is very difficult for myself and people like Irritated Genie to find places to speak to our people. So much so that it almost ran us online to the point where we're talking to empty computer screens, if you know what I mean. The FBI has already said that the vast majority of the people that are there on Facebook are A, not real, or trying to be somebody that they're not. So a lot of times when we get a chance to meet one another in person, we have to take advantage of this. This is why it's so important for the Alamanes and the organizations that do bring people to town to speak to us directly is very important, and we should continue to support them. Would you agree? Okay. My other point is, it's very hard for me to say what I need to say today using the bastard language called English. All right? It is very difficult for me to say, sister, I love you. All right? Because the English language is not equipped to hold the magnitude of what I want to express to the sister. On the vibrational pitch that I need to express it. All right? A, for her to believe me going through what we've been through, the trauma, right or wrong. And then B, for me to come behind those words, which most people think may be empty, but I got to come behind those words with an action. Am I right or wrong? That's understandable if you're in a personal relationship right now and you're going through this and you're experiencing it. If I say, honey, I love you, I got to come back that with a D, with an action. Am I right or wrong? To support that. Well, that's the approach that we need to take in reference to raising the consciousness level of our people. All right? We have to come with that much energy and that much vigor. All right? We have to learn to forgive one another and have an extra degree of patience for one another. Would you agree? I think in the hood we call it, we give people a pass. All right? Some people don't get their hood pass validated, and they have to go to a special court, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. All right? But it's very difficult for us to find audiences to speak to directly. I'd rather the conversation that we're having now as opposed to me trying to speak to you online. But if that's where I have to get you, then that's where I have to go, if that's where you are. All right? I'm in the business of meeting people where they are. All right? Last point. I want to talk about, or I have to talk about, not my choice, what I need to say as opposed to what I want to say. Now, if what I want to say kind of slip out, can y'all just take it and run with it? And just kind of charge it to my head and not my heart? Is that cool? Because you may have some stuff prepared in a 50-slide presentation, but you feel the energy from the people, you might go in a whole different direction. Am I right or wrong? Okay. So, I want to start this off we're offering just a tad bit of an aspect of what we're dealing with. Every single one of us in this room are dealing with right now, and then we can kind of dive into what I prepared. Is that cool? All right, now, how many people in here my age? I'm 57. Not to me, not one person in here. Come on, y'all know y'all need to stop. And nobody raised their hand but the sister here. So y'all telling me I'm the oldest person in here?
No, we older than you.
Oh, you older than me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I struck gold. All right. I was saying all that because I got to put on these readers.
Okay, raise your age up. Make it a rain. Make it a rain.
I want to talk about Kwanzaa, but you've heard that conversation before. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
There's no sense in us meeting every year to reinvent the wheel. If you haven't taken what you've learned last year and made it applicable to your life and your children's lives, what more can I say to you? But just in a different way, with a beat behind it or something. Are you following me? So what I need you to do is take from what I'm about to give you 1 to 3 things. Own it and take it and reach 3 other people. Is that cool? That's your duty and your responsibility. All right? Right now, I launched a crowdfundme on GoFundMe.com for the film that I'm doing. It's called The Oculus. It's called The Oculus Inc. And what The Oculus Inc. is, an ultra-secret society, and these people are responsible for controlling and manipulating your perception on how you see things, what you hear on TV, what you see in the movies. They control sports, they control the news, they control all of media, they control Hollywood. All right, they manipulate and control everything you see. If you go to the eye doctor is called the Oculus, the one that writes your prescription. All right, the Oculus are the gatekeepers of your perception. So it's based on my 2 books, The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop and Symbology. All right. I thought it was good to take the symbols out of the book and make a documentary film and have those people in the community that we respect speak to us in reference to who this ultra secret society is. All right. Can I just give you a taste test and then I can move on? Is that cool?
Symbology.
How many people
Covert War on Hip Hop Book 2
know what the Bank of America logo looks like? Few people Bank of America? The Bank of America logo is a square. And inside of the square, which is the square of Freemasonry, inside of the logo is red and blue, if you can picture Bank of America. All right? Inside of the logo is the 3 number 11s. Now, if you have a smartphone, you can take it out and Google it right now. Bank of America's logo. It's 3 number 11s. And I often ask people, what's the 11th letter of the alphabet? Anybody? No one? Somebody talking? The letter K. And what are 3 Ks? What does Bank of America got to do with the Ku Klux Klan? Talk to me. Come on now. You see what they do is they put it right in plain sight where you can see it, but you can't decode it, therefore you can't understand it, and then you don't know how it affects you and your energy centers. Are you following me? Come on. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Notice all the fast food restaurants are yellow, orange, and red. All lower chakras. All lower energy. Right or wrong? Burger King, excuse me.
You said it right the first
time. Toxic Hell, Drunken Donuts, Dairy Queen, all of these Pizza Slut, all of them. Kentucky Fried Chicken, all of them the same color. All right? Because they're manipulating your lower energy centers.
Right.
You could have just eaten dinner and you watch a commercial and you get hungry all over again and you find your way to the drive-thru at Murder King, right or wrong?
Right.
But that's what the Oculus is about. Signs and symbols that I decoded in my book. I have this book on sale in the back. But signs and symbols that I decoded for the book, and I'm putting it in a documentary film. Every Wednesday night, we hold a study group online. If those that want to join, just see me in the back. All right? My website is www.professorgriff.me. So let's dive in and talk about this idea that was set in motion by Maulana Karenga called Kwanzaa. They wanted me to talk about this idea of divinely purpose, which I thought was a beautiful, beautiful title. Let me read you something from Iwalamu K. Bomani's book, the sex imperative.
Purpose and order.
A quote by Dr. Amos Wilson, a tradition of purpose in order. Before I do that, Franz Fanon asks us to ask ourselves 3 questions. Who are we, where are we, and are we all that we ought to be in this world's life? If you can't answer the first question, automatically we got a problem. Who are we? And then where are we, and how did we get here? Are you following me? A tradition of purpose in order. We must look at the psychopathology of everyday life, and we must recognize we cannot have it both ways. Now listen, I must say this, I might get kind of amped and passionate, all right? I'm not talking down at you or at you, I'm trying to talk to you, but I want to speak to an aspect of you, and that's your soul. Are you following me? We must look at the psychopathology of everyday life, and we must recognize we cannot have it both ways. We cannot talk about a people who have enslaved us, who discriminate against us, who insult us, who do all manner of other things against us, and then turn around and use them as models of normality. These people are not normal. Are you following me? You cannot follow them in your madness and call yourself an African. It's just not possible. That concept is called cognitive dissonance. 2 opposing forces trying to occupy the same space. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to be a slave and an African at the same time. I got 2 people that understand that concept. Thank you, sis. Got you. And yet these people are held up as normal and are used as the standard against we measure ourselves as a people, and are used as models for us to determine the way we wish to raise our children. That's impossible. You cannot wake up every morning and take your little babies and put them in the back of the car after feeding them goddamn Captain Crunch, right? And drive them to the enemy school and drop them off to be educated. That's impossible. You turn around and get off work and go to pick them up and expect them to be normal. It's not going to happen. You can't have it both ways. So right now, today, you have to decide how you want it. All of us in this room, we have enough with us and enough intellect and power to educate our own children. Am I right or wrong? Right. The question is, why are we doing it on a massive scale? I know some of y'all are saying, well, I homeschool mine, that's fine. But until we get a national and international homeschool society where all of us are educating our own, all right, we're not going to get past this particular dynamic. And that's very real. So the idea of tradition. This is a tradition every year that we meet. Am I right or wrong? Next year we got to raise the ante because the children are watching. Am I right or wrong? So we have to understand that particular dynamic. All right? The whole idea of a tradition of purpose. But it has to be balanced. It has to have ma'at. It has to have truth, balance, justice, order, reciprocity. It has to have some kind of balance. Because I would take it that most of us have to go to their schools. Most of us have to go to their jobs. Am I right or wrong? The whole concept of owning and having our own, there's nothing wrong with that. All right? But you have to tap into what's divine. And everyone in this room has a purpose. So let's run through this real quick. You're familiar with the Sankofa concept, right? Standing in the present, moving forward, but always having to go back and fetch it.
Right.
All right? We're always in motion. But at some point, you have to stop and understand and recognize that we have to stand still for a second, press the pause button in order to go back and fetch it. Those concepts that we left, not only in Africa, but we left, period. All right? So to go back to tradition is the first step forward. We have to affirm and then we have to reaffirm. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want anyone to take this with you and wear it on your sleeve. Please don't get personal and sensitive about this. We're owed a debt. Would you agree? Sister, I got something for you in the back of you to seem like the only one that's connected here. Because maybe nobody's owed reparations in this room but you and I. Shit, I'm collecting mine. You understand what I'm saying? We're owed a debt. But I want to say to the men, a blood debt must be paid in blood. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
No, come on, talk to me.
Right.
That if you come to get any of these babies, this beautiful one on the front row, and I'm present in my time, on my watch, and I let you come snatch this baby from my arms and from my wife's arms, and I don't lay you dead at my doorstep, then there's a problem, am I right or wrong? So I'm saying to you, hold on, may the earth reject my body, because I don't deserve to live. But what is my duty, my divine duty and purpose, and what do I owe her? I already know they owe us a debt, but I can't let that stop forward progress as far as us as a people, am I right or wrong?
Right.
So we have to understand, I'm just laying that out from the rip. So later on, don't ask me no funny ass questions. You already know where I stand. Plain and simple. So Professor Griff, what is your sign? Man, say that. So I kind of think we're connected, bro. No, come on. If you don't have a purpose, then you definitely can't connect with me on no level. And that's what we're about to talk about. Every birth is the rebirth of an ancestor. The ancestor spoke to me, and I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. The question is, are you? Come on now. If the ancestors speak to us from within us, all right, who is the most important person in this room?
Me.
Thank you. That's how we need to conduct ourselves, and that's how we need to act. We need to approach this thing called self-determination, all right, and Nia. We need to approach it like it's impossible to fail. Like we're about to get it tomorrow. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
That's how we need to approach it. What did the Creator deposit in you that he or she didn't deposit in anyone else? What is that thing? The Creator gave you something very unique. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
All of us got that unique gift. But are you exercising it?
Yeah.
And when exercising it, all we need to do is come together. This is why Olamide said, don't speak about the old stuff. We need to go from this point forward. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Everyone in this room have a unique signature. No two signatures are alike, right? But the commonality in that, when you take the pen and you put it to the pad, everyone has to make that first black dot, a reference point. Right or wrong?
Right.
And that's what we need to understand. You are the best person at being you. The question is, what is your assignment? No, I need you to download that. What's your assignment? All right? And you became familiar with your life assignment. I'm not talking about what you do on your job. You know when people meet one another, says, how you doing after? You're like, what's your name? Whatever. It's like, well, look, tell me about yourself. Well, I work at. No, that's not you. You're not your body. You're in your body. Am I right or wrong? First thing we talk about is our job, as though that's the thing that sets the standard for who we are and who we're going to become. No, deeper than that. The brother was to come back up here and introduce me. He'd have to say, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to introduce God having a human experience called Griff. Because this ain't Griff, right or wrong?
Right.
Am I right or wrong?
Right.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. What's your assignment? What's your purpose? What's your mission statement for your purpose? Do you have a purpose? By a show of hands, how many people have a mission statement for their life and a purpose? Too many hands not raised. Olamide, wherever you are, can you change my ticket tomorrow? I'll go back on Monday. We need to have class. No lecture. I need to talk to y'all face to face about your purpose for real. We're going to talk about some things today, but everyone in this room should have had your hand up. Don't tell me you got children, but you ain't got no purpose. And then you have to have a mission statement for the purpose in life, right or wrong. Let me give you mine, and maybe it'll help you develop yours. Mine sounds a little bit something like this, and I'm going to go back over it. I'm a soul in search of souls that are like mine. So when I meet you, there's certain things that we ain't even got to talk about, right or wrong. Your purpose connecting with my purpose, your mission statement connecting with mine, and we do what we have to do. Am I right or wrong? Does your purpose tie in with your living in fear of extinction? Your life path, your gifts and your divine assignment, it has to be in sync with one another. Brothers, this is why when we meet the sisters, she say, listen, we're not here. Meaning we're not in tune. She means to use one finger, we're not here. The third eye, not the two physical eyes. It's probably the two physical eyes that brought y'all together, right or wrong. But we're not here. We need to become in tune with the gifts that the Creator deposited in us. Alright? So I'm a soul in search of souls that are like minds, like mine. There shall be no other God for me before me. I am God having a human experience called Griff. I stand on it and I'll die on it.
All right.
That's just what it is, plain and simple.
You are.
All right?
That's right.
What I'm saying by saying that, I'm not going to have a conversation with you about these strange gods that you're trying to introduce me to. If you're not trying to introduce me back to aspects, the divine aspect of myself, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And guess what? That's what the children do to y'all in your way when you're talking that. You ever hear the teacher from Charlie Brown? That's how you sound. And that's a real dynamic. Everyone has to know thyself. To know self is to know God.
Yes.
All right? To know self is to know God. And then to know God, and that God comes from and through the womb of the goddess.
Yes.
Plain and simple. I don't know how any of y'all conduct your households. Mine is divinely balanced.
Thank you.
There's no masculinity happening in the household to the point where I'm running and controlling everything. No, my wife balances all of that out. And that's how we have to rule. Are you following me?
Okay.
See, there must be a reason why the Creator put me on this path and not the other one. Because if they left my ass in charge, there'd be some problems. There's a sacred energy guiding you. How many people are familiar with that sacred energy in you?
Woo!
What do y'all call it though? Is the thing. We can applaud all we want to. If you're not connected to it, you don't know how to fine tune it. You understand what I'm saying? We're far from it. It says that's why lately you've been distancing yourself from who and what no longer serves your higher purpose. And that's just real, and we need to understand that. Each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it. You have a mission just like I have a mission. All right? You see me up here working. You see me out and about all across America, reaching out people, raising the consciousness level of our people. If we don't know who we are, then who we are, we will never ever know. And the people that look at us can define us any way they want to define us. And they have. All right? Be mindful of those teachers who insist on referring to themselves and their students as African Americans. They are generally not comfortable with being African and will defend African American vehemently, claiming that they are both. Ironically, you seldom see the African side of these individuals. You don't even see it. They're trying to assimilate and kind of morph their way into this particular society that's constantly rejecting them. Alright? So the whole idea of becoming, we're in the process of reclaiming our own. So every morning you wake up, give thanks and praise to the Creator, and we always step out with the left foot forward. Of course, if you've been in the military, Western world, military stole that concept for us, because when they say forward march, they step out on the left. Am I right or wrong? Right. We have to understand this concept, and they stole these concepts. Listen, the theft of African consciousness has been going on for a long time. All right? The left foot forward to move with the heart, trampling down evil as transcend oppressive constructs on the earthly plane. And we have to understand that. We always lead with our heart. But we have to crush evil, all right, before our heart moves forward. And that's just real. If we are too afraid to at least take the first step towards defending ourselves and our people, we have to know and understand that a coward dies 1,000 deaths. And guess what? I think the social media and the internet is the best thing that ever happened to the coward. Because you can hide behind an IP address and be anybody you want to be. Am I right or wrong? Thanks, sister. I'm glad you understand. It makes us powerlessness, and powerlessness breeds beggars. If all the fast food restaurants shut down, where you going to get your next meal from? If the last series of toilet tissue was made and there's no more going to be made, how would you use the toilet? See, you don't think about doing these things for yourself. Are you following me? We have to understand that particular dynamic. Now, brothers, If you are married or you with a sister, I need you to hold on real tight, because this is a lesson to you through her. All right? The black woman gave birth to everybody on the planet. Hold on. That's not something new that we need to applaud. I thought that was already known. Am I right or wrong? Okay, we don't need to go over the history then. We don't need to waste time with that. All right? But the beautiful thing about it, this particular tribe in Africa, the Himbe tribe, they talked about the birthing song, and the birth date of the child is counted not from when they were born, nor from when they are conceived, but from the day that the child is thought of in the mother's mind. And we just speak them into existence. So what is that saying about your assignment and your gift? That somebody, i.e. the creator, in sync with mom and dad, in sync with you, but you're not even born yet, saw a purpose for you on the planet and brought you and dropped you on the planet when you needed to be on the planet. Am I right or wrong? So now we're here. You're just not going to waste and take up space and waste time. Am I right or wrong? Your mom went through the whole idea of thinking the thought to bring you into existence. So then there was a song that was created for you. And then they taught the song, and when the woman decides that she will have a child, she goes off and sits under a tree by herself, and she listens until she can hear the song of the child that wants to come. How many people seen the cartoon Kirikou? No one seen Kirikou? We got one brother over here. Okay, we need to change that. Kirikou was a little short, tiny little African that gave birth to himself from his mother's womb. All right? It says that after she's heard the song of the child, she comes back to the man who will be the child's father and teaches it to him. Now, the child is not even conceived yet, but only in her mind. The song comes to her and she teaches it to the father. When they make love to physically conceive the child, some of that time they sing the song of the child as a way to invite the child in on the physical plane. Now that the child is here, all right? And then we go through the naming ceremonies and the rituals to name the child. Sometimes the child is named a month later. Am I right or wrong? But you nurse the child with the baby's head to the left to hear the heartbeat. So the baby's there and you singing a song to the baby. The baby's getting that locked into their DNA. So they're hearing the song. Now mind you, the woman conceived the child with the thought in her mind. The baby knew when it was supposed to be born because the baby instinctively knows what it's supposed to do. Are you following what I'm saying? So now the mom is nursing the baby over the heart. And the baby's hearing, well, quite not that beat, but I'm saying. The baby's hearing the heartbeat. All right? Let me pause for a second. Every drum pattern that you've ever heard in hip-hop, all right, what it is mimicking the 9 systems, the pulsation of the 9 systems in the body. It's nothing new. That 72 beats per minute that you heard coming from Cali, all right, with that funk, we already knew that. That's how the heart beats. You understand what I'm saying? So we already understand that vibration. So when the mother is pregnant, the mother teaches the child the song to the midwives, to the old women of the village, so that when the child is born, the old woman and the people around her sing the child's song to welcome the child on the physical plane. If the child is hurt, the villagers sing the child's song. If the child commits a crime, the individual is called to the center of the village, and the people in the community form a circle around them, and we sing the praise of the child, and it brings the child back in line with itself. Are you following me? You don't beat the child. I don't know who the hell taught y'all that concept. Well, my mom beat my behind because I was doing some stuff that was just unheard of. But you know, in the deep, deep, deep South, how did y'all know when to come home? Street lights came on, right? No, I said deep South where there are no lights. You know them little lightning bugs? They used to come out and light up, you know, to take your behind home. All right, nature was letting you know. Are you following me? What happens if you didn't go home? Your mother would come to the front door and call you by your full name, right or wrong, calling you and singing that song to bring you right back in tune with yourself. Are you following me? So we sing the child's praises. We put the child in the middle of the room and we sing the child's praises. The tribe recognizes that the correction of the antisocial behavior is not punishment. They're just testing the waters. They may go astray, too far to the left, too far to the right. This is why we guide them and give them a set of instructions. It is love and the remembrance of the identity. When you recognize your own song, you have no desire or need to do anything that would hurt one another. Plain and simple, end of the damn story. I'm going to take it that this low applause is like people are thinking. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Processing, is that? Okay, cool. I got you. This would be one of those trees that you would sit by, sister. Now that's a hell of a tree. Alright? The whole idea of alchemy is to transmute the lead of the ego, which is your desire, into the spiritual goal of your consciousness. In hip-hop, we use a different form of alchemy. We were transforming the human being, alright, from a regular old street dude into gods and goddesses. Are you following me? Via the music. So we had to put certain ingredients in the music. So we added jazz, gospel, some funk, alright, some hard-hitting beats, and we stirred it up in a gumbo. And we came out with this thing called hip-hop, high infinite power, healing our people. But we had to keep it quiet, and we gave birth to it in the Bronx. Are you following me? And then we kind of let everyone else know that on a metaphysical plane, it's the science that attempts to bring the spiritual and the physical aspects of life together. The method to fuse oneself with God. We shouldn't even have a conversation about God without mentioning yourself. God and the self are the same person. See, that's hard for you to wrestle with because you got to get past religion. You got to kind of move that aside so we can wrap our brains around this particular concept. The true temple of God is here. This is why we keep this clean and pure. Are you following me? This is why we don't eat at McDevil's and Murder King, right or wrong. You don't put piece of slut in God's temple. Are you following what I'm saying? A woman didn't come from a man's rib. Man came from the womb. And I think it's a basic concept, but I think men need to understand that. Of course, beautiful sister, you got good hair. You got African in your family. People look at me and ask me what I'm mixed with. I say black. Plain and simple. See, you can tell the soul of a people by the way it treats its children. And that's a real dynamic, all right? And I tell everybody, everywhere I go, the more and more they dig, the more and more they're going to find out who they are not. And find out who we are, but they're never going to tell you that. Are you following me? And we should understand that particular dynamic. The more and more they dig, and the deeper they go, the more they find out, and the blacker and blacker and blacker the God gets. But the problem with that is it's hard for you to wrap your brain around it. Alright? This is why we have to have these conversations. Even when you take this paper money, it ain't worth a damn today. Even when you look at the signs and symbols on the money, it's the theft of African consciousness. Alright? They take our sacred symbols and they use them for subversive purposes. Brothers, sisters, a man's mind is elevated to the status of the women that he associates with. One person, that's good, I like that. You know, that lets me know people are thinking. We need to start checking who we hanging out with, and that's just a beautiful thing. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. You have to give consent, sisters, am I right or wrong? And then you gotta own it. Spirituality is not a religion. Being spiritual just means you're in touch, with your own divine self. That's all it is. Yes. And then everything in nature, will bow. I'm gonna say that again. You didn't catch that part. That was the remix. Everything in nature will bow once you know this. Move religion out the way and become spiritual and see what I'm saying. Now I'm going to get to the hotel room later on and start thinking, what didn't I say that I should have said? But I said earlier, I'm saying some things that I need to say. There are some things that I want to say. Alright? And I know in your mind you're saying, well, say them. I do want to say them. In this age of information, we have the chance to learn more and be greater than our ancestors. Our ancestors speak to us from within us. Don't mess it up. by refusing to read. Listen to everybody and read everything. Don't stay stuck in one book, ever. Alright? Tell you something, man. Me and my wife, when we work up, we do martial arts. In the morning, we dance. We do whatever we got to do to get this energy moving. This engine moving. You understand what I'm saying? If we want to pick from this tree today, we do that. That may be the Bible today, the Quran tomorrow, the pyramid text, whatever we need to do. It's all ours, right or wrong. And we need to understand that. Imagine we getting stuck in one book and then want to argue with one another. It's not real, brothers and sisters. We must use these celebrations as a roadmap back to the self by becoming the self and not the not self.
That's right.
Is that too much twist to it? Only thing I'm saying by saying that is there's a self and then there's the not self. Most of us this week have done things that spoke to the not self. Raise your hand if you did things today that you were shocked that you even did them on the negative side. No one, I'm the only one, me and the sister. Okay, that's cool, I got you. Because I did some not self things this week and I just had to check myself. Are you following me? Yeah. I'm talking about a certain tone to my wife in the morning. Are you following what I'm saying? Sneaking off and eating some cookies or something. Are you following? That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the other stuff. But the self and the not self. I'll be finished in a second. A few more slides. Sometimes when you put up slides like this, they don't even need to be explained. They said, I got a few more minutes. Black people on the 4th of July. I'm doing a good job. Do I have you check later on? I got you, cool. No, he said I got 10 minutes. St. Patrick's Day, Thanksgiving, and Kwanzaa. Alright? So when I went over the 7 principles late one night about last week, I started thinking, how can I associate the 7 principles with concepts that were already given to us by people that, and brothers and sisters and leaders that sacrificed their lives for us to see that we could even be here today. Alright? So how can I associate them with individuals? Meaning, how can I take a concept and give it an anthropomorphic image to put in front of you and say, okay, this is where we start. Alright? So the whole idea of umoja, which is unity. So the whole idea of a black African people throughout the world joining forces to fight for black African sovereignty and to build a black African world order. That's just real. What is wrong with us connecting with all the black people across the globe, regardless of what they call themselves? Alright? And then we study the teachings of the individuals that fought, bled, and died for us. And then when you call me, I'll tell you when we talk about it, unity, I'll tell you one concept from a revolutionary perspective. Straight up, no holds barred. You touch one, you touch all. You touch one in Miami, we're going to move on you in New York. Are you following me? Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I got you. If you don't move that way, then we're fragmented. Are you following me? If they move on Irritated Genie in Maryland, then we move in Georgia. Are you following me? Until we come up with that concept again. See, we don't feel one another's pain. I wrote a song several years ago called Common Thread. There's a common thing that runs through all of us. Alright? We need to feel that once again. And that's just real. Every man teaches as he acts. You don't teach the Kwanzaa lecture tonight and then later on tonight I'm with Becky Assenflat at the hotel. You don't do that. Right or wrong? No, most of y'all didn't get that. I got you. I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry for calling her Becky Assenflat. You know, give me another name. I'm not calling name. I'm not being childish. That's the first name that came to my mind. But I have to have some damn integrity. Am I right or wrong? And I gotta stand on my word. If you don't see me at Whole Foods with a woman that look like my mama, there's a problem, man. No, I'm serious. Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our names? Robbed of our, we lost our culture, our God. And many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind. Thank you. Now for the people that didn't get that, too bad. You ready for me to 2 minutes? Can I find some place just to end this? Because they have to know about Dr. Ben's work. I'm sure y'all know, right? Let's give the ancestor a round of applause. You have to know about Dr. John Henry Clark's work. Give him a round of applause. You have to know Ivan Van Sertima. Let's give him a round of applause. I know you know about Dr. Bobby E. Wright. Am I right or wrong? Let's give him a round of applause. Our mental side is so deep that we trust the enemies to do what's best for us. Stop that. They're not going to do it. I don't know if y'all got the in-office memo. It's not going to happen. Listen, it's good that we talk about all these brothers and sisters that have transcended into the ancestral realm. But how about the brothers and sisters that are still alive and still among us? Let's give them a round of applause. Cable Mani Barudi and Walibu Cable Mani Barudi. What about our good brother Dr. Amos Wilson and our sister Dr. Frances Cress Wilson? Of course, Neely Fuller Jr. and our good brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Leonard Jeffries, Professor Smalls, and I can go on and on and on. Ashra Quasi and other people. All right? Definitely our good brother Ishaka Musa Barashango, African people in European holidays. So blessed are those that struggle. Oppression is worse than a grave. It's better to live and die for a noble cause than to live and die a slave. Asante Sana, thank y'all very much. I love y'all tonight. I'll see y'all at the back table. Love y'all, brothers and sisters. Peace.